Hi everybody, it's Don. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, do got a couple news stories that I really wanted to cover today. I tried to find a place on the ship that is either not blaring music that's going to get me copyright strike, or just out of the wind. I am now protected by these window glass in the front because it is so windy here. I mean, the pools are closed and everything because it is just a gale force wind up here. It's really hard to even walk. It's almost blowing me across the deck. So, yeah. Well, we do have a couple, like I said, news stories, and let's start off with story number one. So cruise story number one, we have the Icon of the Seas is actually on her maiden voyage right now, which is great. As I stated, I am going to have a little bit of concerns, and maybe I'll do a video on that about if she's completely ready or not, but obviously she's more ready than the Sun Princess was going to be, and I hope people on board are finding her as the design of the ship as awe-inspiring as I was. The changes they made to the main atrium are, in my estimation, a real game changer as far as that size and that class of ship is concerned, as far as space is concerned. Also, Wizard of Oz on board. Really great show, and I'm sure the rest of the shows will be just as much fun. We also had an amazing kind of story from the Jubilee on one of her first sailings out of Galveston. Well, she ran across a couple kayakers in the water. Apparently, they had jumped into the kayak when their boat sank, and so they were rescued at sea off the coast of Mexico. I mean, not having enough time to get into a life raft or anything, you jump into the nearest thing available, and apparently that was a kayak. And I'm quite sure those gentlemen are glad the Jubilee is sailing out of Galveston right now and came to their rescue. That is amazing. Now for some interesting, sad news in a way. We have more itinerary changes coming from the cruise lines because of what's happening in the Red Sea. We have Carnival Cruise Line has just announced that they are changing the itineraries on 13 different ships across all of their different cruise lines. In other words, Holland America, Princess, Carnival, across all 13 different ships are going to be affected and have to change itineraries. Some of them will deadpan now with no passengers. They'll cancel those sailings. Others will just change to a new itinerary and change in a completely different, I think. So if you're anywhere involved in going in the Red Sea on any cruise line right now, I highly recommend getting in touch with the cruise line or your travel agent, finding out exactly what's going on, because everything's changing there. In fact, it's changing so much. Did you realize that the cost of shipping something now from China to North America in the past 3 weeks has doubled? That's how much it's affecting things that are going on in that area. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's not a lot of fun for cruisers, but safety first. You don't want to be in an area where somebody's going to take a pot shot at you with something like a missile. You can't blame the cruise lines for avoiding that altogether as much as possible. Next, we have the Port of Galveston has an announcement, and they're quite thrilled because they just reported that they had the highest year ever as far as income for the cruise port. The port itself is concerned. Highest revenue earning ever. And I guess that's growing to get even more because MSC is moving there, Princess is moving another ship there. More ships are going to Galveston in the near future, and that's only going to increase the amount of revenue generated out of that facility and that area. So good on Galveston. I'm glad to see that that's happening down in that area. And it is a sunny windy day here. We are approaching the bottom corner of Brazil before heading into Argentina. It has been an interesting trip so far. You can see there's not a lot of activity. Look at the sunshine that we have, but it is so sunny, beautiful, but it is so windy that it's hard to do anything on the top decks. The top pool deck is roped off, can't get in it. A couple people are in the hot tub. Nobody is playing golf. Nobody's at the driving range right behind me. Nobody is doing shuffleboard. Most people are indoors and keeping out of the wind because it is dramatic how windy it is on this little ship out here in the ocean. We are rocking back and forth a little bit, and that's why they closed the pool off. And yeah, like I said, it's been a very interesting trip so far. I have very mixed reviews on my feeling, but I don't think they're fair reviews right now, and I'll do a video on why and what's happened on this trip. I also have a video to let you know that I might have trouble getting home, and stay tuned for that one coming up in the near future as well. That's right. After all the trouble of getting here, I might even have trouble getting home. But I also have a question for you, is because I've been trying to find something, because my Sun Princess is now being canceled. And now it looks like I'm going around, I think it's the 9th of March, is when I'll be there for 5 days. So I've been trying to find a cruise to do around that time. So, you know, don't want to travel all the way to there for 5 days. I want to do something else. So, believe it or not, I said, okay, well, let me see what else is sailing out of Athens. Well, you know what's not sailing out of Athens? Most cruise ships. Because cruise ships, the season begins around May for the Mediterranean. And that's when it starts to warm up. That's when the tourists get off school. That's when everyone starts to travel. So as of right now, I can only find like one ship. Other than the Sun Princess, that's even in the area. And that's a celebrity cruise ship. So I don't, but it's a longer cruise, so I don't know if I could even do that. It does line up quite well, I think. I think it leaves out of Athens on the day after I arrive in Athens on the Sun Princess, which would work out if I can get Princess to accommodate me for my flights and change them to the times I need, because Princess is sending me on this one as a press junket, as a media representative, as a travel agent. So I am going to find out a little bit more. I've been looking and trying to book a longer cruise on the Sun Princess. There's just nothing available until it's too late. There's, you know, and I don't know. I might try and get there this summer, I guess, after everything calms down a little bit. But like the first 5-6 sailings right after are all sold out. I keep checking every single day, but there's nothing I can do to get on. Or I'm hoping there's a cancellation or something. But my luck, I would book the 18th, and then next week, Princess on my way home will say that sailing is canceled as well. That would be the luck I'm having on this entire trip. This has been one of the most unlucky trips I've ever had. All I can say is at least the weather's broke for everybody else on board. And yeah, we just more cruises to look forward to in the future. Well, I hope you appreciate this little update, the cruise news, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.